Silence is not peace. They say, be quiet, don't rock the boat, don't raise your voice, and don't ask the question that rattles the cage. They say, keep your head down, scroll past the suffering, walk away from the fire, pretend you didn't see the handcuffs tighten, the neighbor evicted, the protester dragged away in the night. They say, stay silent and you will be safe. But silence is not safety, silence is not peace, and silence is surrender. History whispers. Every atrocity, every injustice, every wickedness dressed up as law and order thrived because good people swallowed their voices. So I ask you, what happens to a society that is conditioned to never question? What happens when people forget how to raise their voices? What happens when silence becomes the anthem and obedience the religion? First, we protect the truth, because power's oldest trick is to bury it. In South Africa, they tried to silence witnesses, but cameras smuggled stories out. In Chile, mothers of the disappeared carried photographs when the government said that their children never existed. In Ferguson, in Hong Kong, in Tehran, phones became weapons of witnesses. Screens lit up the streets with proof, with memory, and with defiance. Truth is a fragile flame, but when we pass it from hand to hand, it survives. That's why they fear it. That's why they censor it. And that is why they twist it into lies. But listen, as long as one voice says, I saw, as long as one hand writes, this happened, truth refuses to die. The government can silence me, but it cannot silence we. One by one, we are easy to pick off, targeted, arrested, fired, shamed. But together we are a choir, a flood, a storm that does not stop. When Rosa Parks sat, she did not sit alone. A movement rose beside her. When students in Soweto shouted against Africans in their schools, they were met with bullets, but also with an uprising. When Stonewall's doors were raided, drag queens, trans women, gay men, and allies threw bricks and fists and voices that sparked a fire no government could extinguish. Solidarity is not soft. It is still braided together. It is knowing that when I stand, you stand, and when you fall, I do not leave you behind. Oppression isolates, solidarity heals. Some say, what can we do? They have guns, they have courts, they have the prisons. But history answers back. We have the people. Gandhi had no army, but Salt marched against empires. Dr. King had no weapons, but sermons and sit-ins shook segregation. Václav Havel had no police, but words tore holes in the Iron Curtain. Nonviolent does not mean weak. Nonviolent means unstoppable, because you can gel a body, but you cannot gel an idea. You can silence a mouth, but you cannot silence a movement. Every refusal to obey unjust laws, to normalize cruelty, to walk past hate crimes as if they were nothing, is an act of rebellion. When governments close mouths, artists open windows. In South Africa, Songs carried codes of freedom. In Chile, murals bloomed on gray walls, each brushstroke a rebellion. In Iran, women cut their hair in the streets, transforming grief into a banner of courage. Poetry outlives prisons. Murals outlast censors. Songs outsing fear. Because art does not just protest, it creates. It says, we are more than your chains. We are bigger than your borders. We are beautiful even when you call us illegal. Every canvas, every stage, every verse is a declaration that silence will not have the last word. But resistance isn't only in the headlines. It lives in the daily choices we think are too small to matter. Refusing to laugh at the racist joke, checking in on the coworker who's being harassed, refusing to share the propaganda post, speaking the truth at the dinner table, and when it cracks the air. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is deciding in the trembling moment to act anyway. And when enough of us choose the small acts, the cracks spread. The wall of silence begins to crumble. No government is an island. No movement is alone. When protesters in Hong Kong lifted signs in English, they were speaking to the world. When Black Lives Matter marched in the US, the chant echoed in London, Lagos, Tokyo, Sydney. When Iranian women cut their hair, women across the world cut theirs too. Oppression may be local, but resistance is global. International voices matter. Letters, marches, donations, pressuring institutions that still have power. When they try to silence you at home, let the world be your amplifier. So here we are, at the edge of fear, at the doorstep of silence. The question is not, will they try to silence us? The question is, will we let them succeed? We are not the first to face this choice, and we will not be the last. History is watching. The future is listening. Our children will one day ask, when they told you to shut up, did you speak? When they told you to look away, did you see? When they told you to walk away, did you stand? And may your answer be yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. We spoke, we saw, we stood, because silence is not peace. Silence is not safety. Silence is surrender. And we will not surrender.